Hello everyone, this is Rave, and in this video what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you 5 tips to learn English successfully. And before we get into the tips, let me just tell you this. Everyone can learn English. Yes, everyone. No matter who you are, no matter where you are from, no matter what language you speak, no matter how old you are, you can learn English. So, if you are feeling a little discouraged, this video is for you. I don't believe in age limits, okay? Yes, children can learn languages more easily, and there is a whole scientific study on it. Well, not just one, there are multiple scientific studies explaining why, and maybe because they use the left side of their brain, which is more linked to affections and so on. But regardless, if you really want to and if you are really dedicated, you can learn a language no matter how old you are. I really believe that. So, tip number 1. Find something that you like about English. Passion is the key ingredient to anything in life. Like Mary Poppins said, in every job that must be done, there is an element of fun. You find the fun and snap the jobs a game, and that's true. The reason why I say this is because not everyone likes English. Not everyone is a linguist. Not everyone is into languages, and that's okay. You don't have to be into languages. You don't have to love English in order to learn it. Okay? When I first started learning English, I did not like languages. I did not know the first thing about languages. But what I'm trying to tell you is find something, an element, an aspect of the English language that you like and that you enjoy the most. For me, it was pronunciation. I really wanted to be able to speak a certain way, to imitate an accent, in particular the American or even the British accent, because I really love the way it sounds. I have always loved impersonating characters, doing their voices. I also love singing, playing around with my voice, with my instrument, and so pronunciation was the thing that really introduced me to learning languages. So, find something that you really enjoy about English. I promise you, everything is going to be easier if you do that. Maybe it could be writing for you. People love writing stories. They love writing journals, keeping a journal where they write down everything that goes on during their day or what they are feeling in that particular moment. And this could be really helpful as long as you enjoy it. Tip number 2. Constant practice. Now, when I say constant practice, I don't mean that you need to spend the entirety of your days on a book sitting at your desk. That's not what I mean by practice. We are so lucky to live in a world, to live in a time where we have so many resources literally in the palm of our hands. Hello, the internet. There are so many things that we can use to our advantage when learning a language. There is movies, there is TV shows, there are series on Netflix, videos that you can listen to, an audiobook, you can listen to a podcast. There is countless things you can do to practice your English and have fun with it. This is what I mean by practice. Do some of these things during your day, even if you don't have a lot of time. You are working, you are studying, whatever you are doing, even if it's just 5 minutes a day, take a little bit of time and listen to a podcast, watch a video, watch a movie, and do it in English. And this brings us to tip number 3. When watching movies in English, use subtitles. And when I say subtitles, I mean captions, subtitles in English. Those kind of subtitles that give you exactly what the person is saying. I'm going to let you in on a little secret, okay? I always keep my subtitles on if they are available. And most of the times, native speakers also do that. Because sometimes what happens is maybe you are eating and you are chewing. There's a little noise in the background and you can't really hear every single word. So to make sure that you learn your vocabulary, keep your subtitles on. Subtitles are also very useful to learn how to spell words correctly, because we know that English is not very coherent when it comes to spelling. Okay, you have a word like Q, which is pronounced like a single letter, but that has like 5 in it. If you are just starting to learn English and you don't feel comfortable enough to watch a movie or an episode of your favorite TV show in English with English subtitles, I understand that you feel the need to use subtitles in your native language, a translation. And of course, that could be really useful if you are just starting to learn English. You are not there yet. You don't feel comfortable enough. And that's your first step. So it's totally okay. But once you feel comfortable enough, make that progress. Get rid of translations, and if there's a word you don't understand, an expression that you have never heard of before, look it up online. It takes 2 seconds. Yes, just 2 or 3 seconds. Just Google it. Tip number 4, keep going. Watch cartoons or anything that is specifically made for children. When we start learning a language, we are discovering a new world. So we're kind of like children. We're back to being kids. So we need that kind of language, that kind of baby talk, if you will. Well, maybe that's an exaggeration, but you know, that kind of simple language, that kind of pronouncing words very slowly and clearly, that kind of simple vocabulary, simple but very useful because it's basic words. It's basic vocabulary that we need for everyday life or everyday conversations. I'm speaking from experience because I don't know about you, but I love Disney movies. They're like my favorite thing in the world. Something that could be really useful is watching a cartoon or show that you were obsessed with as a kid. Something that you already know very well. When I was a kid, I was obsessed with A Little Mermaid. So when I first watched that movie in English, I was not a kid anymore. But suddenly I was hooked. The next day, I already knew the songs in English because I was already familiar with the character. I was already familiar with the tunes, with the music. So that would be really helpful when learning a new language. Let your inner child shine through. And last but definitely not least, tip number 5 is talk to yourself. Yes, my dear friends. Now you can call me crazy, but whenever I'm home alone, whenever there is no one listening, I'm constantly talking to myself. And this is really useful to practice all the languages that I learned, all the languages that I speak. And I need constant practice because unfortunately, we don't always get the chance to practice with someone, especially a native speaker. They are not always around, you know. If you do have native speakers to practice with, by all means do it with them. But if you feel like it's not enough, talk to yourself. There is no shame in it. No one is listening. Say whatever you want. Some people have told me, Rev, but I don't know what to say. Like, what am I supposed to say? I don't know. That's not the point. You don't have to think about topics. You just need to go with it. Go with the flow. Say whatever is on your mind. That's what really makes a difference. Because by doing this, you will also start thinking in English, which is a really important step in learning a new language. Once you start thinking in a new language, it means you are doing it very well. If you don't know a word, if something is on your mind and you can't express it because you don't have the right vocabulary for it, struggle a little bit with it. Because by struggling, by trying to find the right words, we are going to remember them better. And then, of course, we can always look it up. The internet is always there. But before we look it up, let's try and do it ourselves. I promise you, it helps. So, that was it, my dear friends. These were my 5 tips to learn a language. In particular, we have talked about English because you know that that's what I teach. Of course, I have plenty of other tips, but these were very general. Okay, so I feel like this can work for everyone. Before you go, make sure you follow me on all of my social media platforms. I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you guys in the next one.